So welcome to Susan Essential Self Care.
And I'm calling from Pembroke Township, Illinois.
Well, hello, Myeka. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. And I do have a question.
Okay.
Thank you for offering this service.
My pleasure.
And I already grounded myself. And my former husband, who is now deceased, and I were working on a project together, working on things together in terms of the development of a peaceful world. And come to find out, he had a multiple personality that was a deviant. And it wrecked our work, and it wrecked the work of a lot of people. And I want to know what he has to say from the deceased realm about what has happened and what needs to be done now, and any message that he may have for me personally.
Okay, I'm going to start with this, Michelle. We're going to work on this one together. That's okay. So he's here. First of all, Myeka, he's crying right now, and he is so remorseful, and he's so sorry. It was coming through so huge, and it's actually interesting, Myeka, because I was thinking about you this morning.
Talk a little louder, dear. Just talk a little louder for me.
Sure. Hold on, let me see if I can get closer. Can you hear me okay now?
That's better.
Okay. So he's crying, he's remorseful, and he was coming in loud and clear before you called. Like I heard you calling energetically earlier this morning. So he wants to talk to you. Give me a minute, please. And Michelle, just pipe in if you're called to do so.
I just feel like he's a very large presence. He had a very large presence when he was here on this earth, I'm feeling. And that is one of the things that was so shocking, in that he could be such a big presence in this positive way, and then to find out these things about him, like I could see it just rocked your whole world. And what I'm feeling from all of that is the fact that he's saying, yes, he is sorry. He's also saying that what he dealt with in the physical is something that is so prevalent right now that it was actually something, it's actually something for you to learn from, to take this work. And I don't know what the work is, but it's almost as if he's saying, speak to these people, speak to people that have these dark sides, because that is where the world can be changed. Because what I'm also getting, and this is not from him, this is from guides, is that who needs to be changed? Not those that are already of light. Those that need the light are those that are in the darkness. And so what I'm hearing from him is that this big dark presence can only be dark if you don't shine light on it. And once the light shines on it, there is no darkness any longer.
Yeah, there's more. And what they're also, what he's saying to me is that, Myeka, I was here to show you duality, that you can love someone who's dark or who's fractured, and you can, as Michelle was saying, bring them to the light. I'm actually here guiding you to help you bring first yourself to the light. And by the way, I like what you're doing now. Good job, he says. I like the changes that you've made. He goes, I see that you have made huge improvements in healing yourself. He goes, I'm sorry I fractured you, but you had to go through that so you can help others heal now. In other words, if I hadn't done that for you, if I hadn't given you that experience, you wouldn't have the depth of understanding that you have now, that you can now lead other people who are doing or who have been in similar or the same situations. You are here to lead, Myeka. Lead on. There's something else he's saying. Don't be embarrassed by what I did. It was a lesson so you could grow. Don't be embarrassed by me, Myeka. I was just here as a lesson. Now you can go ahead and lead the charge. There's something else. Do you get it, Michelle?
I'm just feeling, I'm feeling like, well, I'm being called to mention soul contracts, and that your souls had a contract together. And so often our human self doesn't understand, but if we can understand on a spiritual level that our souls had contracts before we incarnated on this earth. And what he's saying is, I fulfilled my contract. And
yes,
it wasn't easy for me either.
Yes.
But I did this for the bigger picture. I did this for the transformation, for more than just myself in the world. So the impact that his soul knew that he could have by going this route, it doesn't seem to make sense in our humanness, but our souls do what they need to do in order to impact and bring more people into the light.
Yeah, and what he's telling us is that that contract was it was to make sure Myeka could grow.
Correct.
And so and Myeka, what I'm hearing, please don't take offense to this, is that you were comfortable and you needed to grow. The only way for you to grow was to be uncomfortable. And you had to cast off that shell of comfortability so that you could like rise to where you need to take yourself and then the rest of the people who follow you. Does that resonate at all, Myeka? Any of this?
All of it, absolutely all of it. And I want to know, does he have a message to help the children to heal? Because they were most affected by the fall from grace, let's say.
He says it's all within you. He
says
it's all within you. He says you are the healer, Myeka. You're the healer. And so the children, what was your husband's name?
James Bevel.
Okay. He goes, you heal them with your heart, your love.
Say that again. Are you asking me?
Oh, he says you heal them with your love, but oh, brilliant. I have did you love your husband?
Of course. Yes, I mean, yes, definitely.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you what he said, but I'm also going to tell you about my family. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you that my father had an outside relationship of the family. And from that, I have a wonderful half brother. Okay. But it wasn't just like a moment. It was 40 years. It wasn't like a one-time fling. It was two different families. Okay. Can't believe I'm sharing this on the air. So the thing is, I love my father unconditionally, like with and without his transgressions. My mom, in front of the whole family, before she passed, and she passed before he did, 18 months apart. She forgave my father in front of the entire family of all of his transgressions. She loved him anyway. Unconditional. Heal your children by loving him anyway. And showing your children where the lesson
Your voice
was
is
for
getting
you.
low, honey.
Say what?
Your voice is getting low as you're speaking.
Sorry.
You're softening your voice, but can't hear it when you do it.
It's hard. Show your children the love, the unconditional love that you had for Bevel. Okay? Because you're supposed to show them you can love people with their imperfections. And then they'll heal, and they won't have the misconception that you can be in a relationship without troubles and without strife, because there's no such thing. That's how the children are healed, through you and through your love of him, and you expressing to them that it was okay for him to make these mistakes. The mistakes are not welcome, but we can love people anyway, and we can help them heal, and we can help them heal. Even, I'm going to tell you, he's healing from above. He's a soul. He's healing from above. Michelle, I hear you've got something else to say.
I heard.
Go ahead.
I heard that your children are going to be just fine. That came through immediately. And then I actually have something sitting on my desk about forgiveness. And it basically is talking about shame, regret, and guilt. So letting go is what I'm hearing. Let go of the shame, of the regret, and the guilt. Because even when we are the ones that are betrayed, we can feel some guilt around, oh, I should have known. I should have seen the signs. I should have protected my family. I should have whatever. And we can should ourselves constantly. And letting go of that guilt, because the way it happened, even though in our humanness, we don't want to accept it all the time, the way that it happened was perfect. Because your calling now is to take that lesson, take that beauty, is what I'm hearing, into the world and change it with a new understanding. Because think about how you would have done your work prior to finding out what you found out. And now, though everything has changed, look at the impact that you can have, and look at the lens that you're looking at it through. It's completely shifted. And that would not have happened had you not experienced what you did. And so what I'm hearing is, though it's difficult, that is exactly what needed to happen for you to fulfill your calling and your purpose here on this earth in this moment.
I hear you.
Is there anything we have another caller, but I want to make sure that we're complete with you. So is there anything you want to say, ask, or anything before we go to our next caller?
I did want to ask if there was a message from Source for me in relationship to all of this.
That was what just came through.
Yeah.
Release that shame, release the regret and the guilt, because your purpose here on this earth is so great that does not need to cloud your lens. So move forward, press on is what I'm hearing.
Well, and I also hear from Source Energy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. One other thing, Myeka, I got a huge chill when you asked that question, and Source does believe that you're on the right track. They like the direction that you're going. Like they're happy.
Wonderful.
All right.
Wonderful. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And you were right on with everything.
Well, thank you for calling and supporting the show. We're so grateful.
It took a while.
Did you wait a while? Is that, yeah, I'm sorry. So
yeah, it was like, should I do this? And then it's like, no. Yeah. So that let me ground. With my feet on my grounding mat. And then I said, let's call. So there was
so glad you did.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad I did too. I love the message. And it makes all the sense in the world. And it's an affirmation of what I have to do and where I have to go. Thank you again.
God bless.
Beautiful.
Okay, we're going to bring on our next caller. The number's 33633.